Hello there, this is Panos Kakaviatos. It's January, it's 2013, a new year, Happy New Year. Just to talk about great wines and what great wines mean to me. I was recently at a dinner with some fellow wine-loving friends here in Washington, D.C. We went to La Vendue, which is a lovely French restaurant on Connecticut Avenue. They have a great bring-your-own-bottle policy. They don't charge corkage. In exchange, we give them good tips, and we're very happy. It's a French-style restaurant. Anyway, great wines. Everyone brought some wine. One of the most memorable wines was a Comte de Champagne from Tache, champagne from the 1996 vintage, a very famous vintage that was just absolutely marvelous because it had such beautiful precision, fine bubbles, a lot of energy, and yet a richness, a real richness, a refined richness because it's all Chardonnay. So there's also a very feminine quality to this wine, feminine meaning soft and elegant, but also just a real precision. The length was amazing on the palate. So that really is a great wine. Relatively old, I guess, for champagne. We're 2013, this is 1996. But anyway, it was just fantastic. What means great to me is actually wines that have longevity. For example, we also had a 1982 Leoville Las Cases, which is one of the top wines from Bordeaux in the Medoc. A lot of Cabernet Sauvignon. So this is a 30-year-old wine. There's quite a bit of it left after the dinner. It's been almost 10 days, and I'm actually impressed. It's gotten oxidized since then, even though I really pushed the cork in and airtight it as much as I could. But what's amazing about this Leoville Las Cases 1982 is that at the time of the dinner, it was actually quite tight, delicious, rich, but kind of contained in its richness. But now, even though now it's kind of silly to drink it now because it's gotten too old with the oxygen and what little wine was left in the bottle, one can smell a little bit of the rusticity. Nonetheless, the wine has a lot of body still and tannic structure. I'm telling you, this has been 10 days. It's been like this. I mean, well, I pushed it down, but you know, this much wine, still quite a bit of wine left, a bit of deposit on the bottom, but it's still going strong after 30 years. And you know, after 10 days when it was opened, I'm amazed at this wine, the 82 Leoville Las Cases. I'm swallowing. Anyway, I'll put this aside, and now let's try. There's still a little bit of left from the 1975 Leoville Las Cases. 75 was not as impressive a vintage. It was much more tannic. So what we noticed when we tried it is the tannins had actually died down, but it didn't have that sort of that richness and that sort of more impressive body that the 1982 had. So I'm very curious to see how this one has managed after some 10 days following our tasting. 1975 Leoville Las Cases. Let's give it a shot. This too is amazing. I mean, you know, an average wine, you know, would not have been able to deal with this much empty from the bottle in a cork that was shoved in but still not perfectly sealed after 10 days. This is actually really good. I mean, it's amazing. See, this for me is a great wine. That means that it has staying power. It can last a long time. It has excellent body. There's very good maturity of fruit. The 82 was better in that sense, but both 75 and 82 are lovely bottles of wine from Leoville Las Cases. They're not cheap, but if you have them in your cellar, you're a lucky person. We also had a Rhone Valley wine, a 2001 Domaine Jamais Côte Rôtie. And this is where Syrah is made famous in the world. The Syrah grape comes from the northern Rhone, and it finds its great expression in Côte Rôtie, which is an appellation in the northern Rhone, and it's sometimes often mixed with Viognier, a white wine grape. And so I'm going to try this one too, just to see how it is. Making a communal cup there of 82 and 75 Leoville Las Cases. Here we go. black pepper, sort of a rich, succulent black fruit as well. This too has taken on some 10 days in bottle very well. You saw the cork was not even, it's like a flimsy half of a cork. Delicious. I get dried tobacco, dry tobacco leaves, the smell of them. There's sort of an earthiness to it, it's got a forest floor. It's now a dry forest floor. I mean, it's gotten somewhat oxidized, but not so much. I'm really impressed with this Côte Rôtie Domaine Jamais 2001. Over 10 years old, it's just actually on its plateau, just got on its plateau, and it'll be there for a while because this is proof in the pudding. So, here's some examples of very fine wines. Here's another one. This is Domaine Udelot Noëlla in Burgundy, Pinot Noir, of course. Romani Saint-Vivant, one of the great Grand Crus in Burgundy in the Côte de Nuit. The bottle's empty. This was actually brilliant. This was a 2002 vintage, which is very rich. Well, I would say savory, very ripe, but not overripe. And it was just absolutely delicious. Very refined, flowery. There was a floral aspect to it. And then another bottle we have, which I didn't bring with me, brought by a very good friend and fellow wine taster. It was the La Tache from Romanée-Conti La Tache, 1970. Now the 1970 vintage, I'm told, is not a great vintage in Burgundy, but La Tache is a famous vineyard and of the Romanée-Conti estate, and it was just absolutely delicate on the palate. Just a very refined wine. So there you go. It's all about expression of fruit, expression of complexity when a wine gets older. Its staying power, its body, and there you go. These are, for me, great wines that really linger on your palate. Length is also very important, how long that flavor stays with you. There you go. So ring in the new year with great wines, please. Cheers.